Welcome to a new video in the course TBMT33, and in this video we ask two questions: how to build up a complex slide that you can use in presentation. So if you have some complex message that you want to deliver, how can you illustrate it in a good way so that you actually have the attention of the audience? And at the same time, we will ask the question how to ask me, the course examiner, questions. And this is good to listen to before you do the first presentation. Here it's actually good to remember this homepage, which is our group homepage, and we are here in the beginning of the course. This is the second example that you see that is built up in this way. The first one was how to construct a background section, which is what you're supposed to present in this first presentation. So, what to do if you have a question for me? This is what we will answer here. And in the process, we will also illustrate how to build up a slide and explain a complex system. And the trick with doing that is to make the listener listen to what you are hearing, to what you are saying, and at the same time have the slide support what you're saying. So not what you're hearing, but what you're saying, of course. And the key thing here is to make them say the same thing, and to only look at, so you should know exactly where to look in the slide, and that the place that you are looking in the slide, that you know exactly where it is. This should be supporting exactly what you're saying at the same time as you're looking. So you don't have to choose between if you should understand the slide and listen to you. So they should be the same thing. They should support each other. That's the key thing. So let's now just illustrate how you can do that. If you have some complex thing that you want to say, like a model or something like this. So you have a person, maybe you, and you want to ask me a question. So you have a question that you want to pose to me. I'm sitting here, and here we will now make use of the fact that we actually know a little bit about mathematical modeling, because this is a systems biology course. So we'll assume that I am in some kind of cell, some kind of environment here, in my room or wherever I am, and you want to get into me. And one way to do that, to ask the question, is to use Gmail. To basically send me an email. So I have a Gmail address. So then you sort of put your question in my inbox. And then the question is, when will that mail actually reach my attention? So when will I be able to answer it? Well, we can describe it with the process here. And then we can just have a look at the rate of this here. So you learned in previous courses how to describe the rate of various processes. So now we're looking at the rate of answering questions that have entered this place here. So we call this rate V Gmail. And then, as you know, it's a good idea to have a look at some data. And actually online on this homepage that I asked you to remember in the beginning, you can go to my personal homepage, and there you can have a look at how many unanswered emails do I have at the moment. So how many emails do I have here that not yet have been transported in here and been answered. And if you look, you will see that it varies a little bit up and down, but sometimes, but you will see that here the time scale of these variations here is fairly slow, and when it's up to many unanswered emails, it may be up to 200 unanswered emails. So it can take a long time if you write me an email before you get an answer, and the reason for that is that this is the channel that most people use. So there are so many people that want to that have various types of questions, collaboration partners and students and other people and so on that ask me questions in this way. So here there are many of you, and there is only one channel, so there's only one of me, and this data basically means that if we try to describe this here using a Michaelis-Menten expression where we have some maximum capacity, so here we have V Gmail, then we can basically see that this is a saturated channel. This is a channel that is working on its maximum capacity all the time, which basically means, you know now, that that x1 here is much bigger than km. So just by doing this very simple inspection, we can see here that this is a saturated channel. So let's now look at some other channels. So you have a question and you choose to do some other channel, or let's have a look at some other options. So LISAM is something we use here at the university, and you can similarly consider posting a question at LISAM, and then the question is, how fast is that? And just by looking at how quickly questions are answered, you can actually see that usually takes a few hours at the most before you get an answer. And the reason for that is that here there are much fewer people who are asking questions. It's only you that are asking question, and then there are many people, not only me, who can answer, but all the other supervisors can see the same question, and actually even students can answer the questions. So there are many people who can answer the questions. So this basically means that if you look at the rate here, or the number of unanswered questions here, or how many questions you need to answer per time unit, it's basically sometimes you need to answer a question, but usually there are no questions to answer. So basically here you have the opposite situation, that you have an overcapacity here. So here you are very, very far from saturation. And then there are some other channels. So you can actually book a meeting with me. And this booking a meeting you also do via the homepage. So if you go to this homepage that I described in the beginning, you look at my personal homepage, then there is actually my calendar is there online, and it says how you book a meeting with me. And you can also call me. And these channels, they are sort of a little bit saturated sometimes, but sometimes they are also fine. So here KM is roughly the same as the number of unanswered questions, I would say. So now I have illustrated how to build up a very complex slide. And now just shortly in the end, imagine that I would, without pointing where to look, I would just talk and you would have this very complex slide to look at. Then it would be very difficult for you to listen to me at the same time as you're trying to understand this slide. But now, because I built the slide up very gradually, then it's actually possible to understand this very complex thing that I want to say by building it up in a gradual fashion. And basically, if we should sum it up now, when we have seen the sort of big thing, we can just have a look at the essence. So the take-home message here is that for most questions, if you can ask a question on LISAM, if it's a question that can be asked there, then this is really the place to go. And if you have things that you cannot ask there because you're not a student, or because it's not a question that you want everybody else to see, then you can call me, or you can book a meeting via my homepage. And the take-home message is that the email is really the worst option for contacting me, because this is the most often the most saturated channel. And if you're part of the course, also remember that I want to meet you every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even more often sometimes, but at least every third week, on average every second week. So there you also have the chance to just talk a few minutes to me in connection to the meeting. So that's it for this little video.